environment. I say anything, and there's 15 people there telling me I'm a pedophile dog fucker. It's, well, okay, well, I already know that. How come you had to keep telling me? I already know, excuse me, but whacking a dog's pee-pee is not fucking it. And walking into your own apartment and being invited into a bed by two completely grown women is not attempting to rape a child. And it's certainly not pedophile, okay? So now the presence of this kind of libel in that forum does open you to not only a financial liability, potentially, but also a criminal liability because of the excessive cyber terrorism that's going on. You can be held responsible for some of the shit. I mean, we're not just talking about internet butthurt, and you know that, don't you?
You've tried reporting the forum for various criminal actions.
No, I haven't. I've tried to get you shut down a couple of times. I've never bothered, with your host. I've never bothered to fuck with the FBI because I know it's a waste of time. I know that they're not going to do anything.
I have heard you've recorded yourself calling the FBI about the forum.
Well, yeah, a long time ago. I haven't in a long time because now I know what's going on. But the only reason you have not been prosecuted is because for the First Amendment violations. There are limits to the First Amendment and limits to free use. For instance, none of my photos are copyright, but as the subject of the photo, I have personality rights that are being infringed on. You understand?
Maybe in like California, but with federal copyright, it's very much who takes the photo. If someone takes the photo, they are the manufacturer.
The complaint is invasion of privacy by misappropriation. You're misappropriating my image. I don't need to have it copyrighted.
Well, I've never heard of that complaint.
Well, you better look it up because that's the way it works. You're thinking that just that whoever took the picture owns the image.
Yes.
But the person who took the picture with my image in it, like that picture that Cox News that they use of me on the corner with the horn busking, anything that you guys find in the public domain like that of photographers that took pictures of me, I signed releases. I signed no release with Kiwi Farms to use that stuff. You see how that works?
I would say almost everything on the forum, especially pertaining to you in particular, is pretty solidly covered by fair use.
No, it's not. There is no fair use for you to take somebody's image without their permission and use it for profit. There's nothing you can do to those images that will make fair use without my authorization for you to use it.
Number one,
why don't you get your lawyer? Get your lawyer in here, because this is the way it is. I do not need to own the copyrights to those images that are invading my privacy by misappropriation.
You don't have to have.
You better check with your lawyer. Don't argue with me about this with your suppositions.
I'm just telling you, because there's a lot of people on the forum who have.
Goodbye, Josh. Have a nice day.
Oh, hold on.
I'm not going to argue with somebody who doesn't know what he's talking about.
Okay, I'm not going to argue with you about that then. I'll accept that at face value. You're right. I'm not a lawyer. Was there something else that just in general? I don't know what's been.
I'm just proposing to you to give me control of my forum with some moderator tools. That's all. That's all I want from you is control of my forum.
Okay, well, Yawning Sneasel's gone, so there's a position open.
Yawning Sneasel is back as Daisy May.
How do you know that? I don't know that.
I know that. It's Daisy May is Yawning Sneasel. Look at what he's bringing back. Daisy May is not a member of AMB. Right now, Sneasel and Extra Douche Sauce, the guy with the shitty Russian accent, they are grooming the fuck out of Dave. Putting
Who's
him
Dave?
on Dave Price, Dee Dee. The one that thinks he's the grandmother to like 3 little swamp monsters.
I don't know anything about this. See, I've been out of touch for the last year with what's going on with you.
Oh,
and I would like to...
This is not me. You know, okay. Last year, they swatted me. The year before, they got me run out of the hut and thrown out of the gem show. These are significant bits of financial harm that connect to your company. You know, just because Lolcow LLC is going to be held liable. You personally may not be held liable for any of this, but your company will be. And Daisy, I'm telling you, just give me control of my forum, and I don't give a fuck what goes on in the rest of the site.
Daisy says that Jonathan Ross was the one who swatted you?
I have no idea who the fuck swatted me. Cops couldn't figure it out because they don't have a computer forensics team.
Well, how can you link that back to the forum then if you don't know who did it? Daisy says that it was someone named Ross who you were friends with.
Don't try to argue with me right now, Josh.
I'm just saying I'm trying to catch up on what's happened the last year.
Josh, don't try to argue with me about any of this. You want to get caught up, that's what's going on. Anything you know about it is just jive you've been fed.
Well, the jive I've been fed is that you were friends with someone named Ross, and I'm asking you who Ross is.
Anybody I've never met.
Okay, well, what? Tell me.
I have no idea who this Ross is. People come and go from my life so quickly. There's just, I got a never-ending stream of people trying to troll me. I'm just saying, give me control of my fucking forum, and I don't give a shit. Let them troll me.
Who is D? You mentioned D, and I don't know anything about them.
David Price of Aiken, South Carolina. There's a thread on him in my sub forum. They got pictures of this fucker pretending to be grandma to 3 little inbred swamp babies. And he's just totally whacked. I think what it is the dude has a wealthy father that put him and his other retarded offspring up in a house in Aiken, South Carolina. And Dave has been trying to get hooked up for hormones for like 40 years almost. And he hasn't been able to because he doesn't qualify. He's too crazy. And so he rages about that all the time, and he rages about true transsexuals and how everybody else that's not getting their shit cut up is a fake. And here I am. They cut on my shit when I was born hermaphroditic, and they turned me into a dysfunctional male.
How did they do that?
Huh?
How did they do that?
Doctor mistook my clitoris for a penis and called me male. And then my pediatrician, thinking he was dealing with a male, called my ovaries testicles and dropped them turned my vagina inside back out, everted the vagina and dropped my ovaries down into it. So that when they developed into improperly working testicles because they weren't supposed to be testicles in the first place.
So do you have like?
It's typical shit they do to intersex people. They don't like the way your junk looks, and then they fuck it up.
I mean, did it like result in physical problems?
Oh yeah. Where do you think that cough is from? That ain't fucking COPD. I have some. They fucked up my urogenital system. They fucked up my the genital the endocrine system. Well, all my nerves are in the wrong place. My brain is looking for a vagina down there and can't find it. So I had all sorts of behavioral health issues that are textbook to the hormone imbalances and being forced into an unnatural gender role.
So to clarify for people who may not know, you do have like a chronic cough, and people on the forum speculate that that's because you smoke a lot of weed. But you're saying that the cough is due to hormonal issues.
The cough is, it's called reactive airway syndrome, where that cough is entirely from my trachea up, and you know, where it splits to go to the different lungs. What's happening is particulates in the air will cause histamine reactions, which gets your sinuses clogged up and flowing. Then it rolls down your throat to that spot, which is where your lungs say, oh no, you're not coming in here, and it coughs it up. That's what's going on there.
Okay. I showed a picture of Dee Price on the stream, and chat had a pretty visceral reaction to the picture. So I would like to know more about what the feud is. Is there like an ongoing feud between you two that has developed in the last year?
Well, I don't feud with anybody. What it is it's a vendetta that he's been on since December of 2018. And what happened, you know, there are a few people that do not have at least a PhD after their name that know as much about the science of sex and gender, the current science of sex and gender, okay, than me. They're very few. And because of that, I have a whole lot of respect in the LGBT community for what I can bring to the table when people are talking shit about us. So, you know, I'm truth bomb the fuck out of people with all their myths and crap about sex and gender. I'm a male, but I'm a woman. Can you dig that?
Sure. And your expression you like to go to is that you are entirely female except for your penis specifically.
Right. My penis is male. I don't deny that. Transsexuals deny it.
I mean, you just said that, just to clarify, you said that the doctors misidentified your clitoris.
Oh, it's very common. If you look it up and how they determine sex at birth, there's a chart. It's a size chart. If it's over a certain length, it's a boy, and if it's under a certain length, it's a girl. And I'm just guessing because all the medical evidence, all the medical records are gone. I'm guessing what happened was that he picked me up, looked at me, and my clitoris was penis size. So he put me down as male. So here, 2 years.
Just
2 years later.
No, go on. Sorry.
2 years later, my pediatrician's examining me, and he finds out that my testicles have not descended yet. So he wrote an order for what they called a double hernia, a double inguinal hernia repair, which in reality was dropping my fucking testicles through what was gonna be my vagina when I hit puberty into a scrotum, where they developed a couple 4 or 5 degrees cooler than they would have if they were ovaries. Are you following?
Yeah, so like the gender theory now is that an infant when they're born still hasn't quite settled as male or female yet, right?
Pretty much exactly that. The reproductive system is still developing and it will continue to develop. And I guess somewhere in the first couple of years, if it's going to be a boy, the testicles descend. And if the testicles don't descend, they like to take them and do it for them. And what's happened is that they fuck up all the hermaphrodites and pseudo-hermaphrodites by doing that. And we're not that rare. We're talking about, you know, we're about as common, we're about as rare as redheads. You know, I don't know about hermaphroditism, but like there's 38, what we're calling now intersex body variations that they used to call disorders of sexual development. While the intersex people are saying, hey, wait a minute, there's nothing wrong with us. This is just the way we're born. So they wanted to, you know, depathologize that. And they made it nicer to differences of sexual development, and that still wasn't good enough for the intersex advocates. And what we're looking for is intersex body variations, and there's been 38 of them described. And collectively, intersex people are about as rare as redheads.
So when you're talking about D Price, basically you're saying that you were born hermaphrodite, and the doctors gave you medicine that prevented you from being the body that you were born to be in.
They operated on me surgically, altered my genitals when I was a toddler.
Okay. But
and to get back to D, what happened was she's in my group and was getting up in the face of a PhD psychologist who was trying to deliver a paper, running her fucking mad shit about that ghoul, Robert Sapolsky, who's been dissecting gorilla brains, and getting up in her face about, well, you psychologists are full of shit, and the neurobiologists, blah, blah, blah. And the woman just said, hey, would you please? And I did. When I tried to moderate and get her to chill, she went off on me. So I bounced her. And she went on a vendetta. And then she came here to you, or she had been a member or something. And when they heard about it, dark mates pointed her at all of this information about me to, make sure she memorized it. And then Sneasel sat her on me. And, she's over there like dumbass bitch is over there at AMB bragging about how she's doing this job for the Hoffman Group Hobo Interdiction Team. I'm like, well, are you getting paid for this shit, baby?
Yeah, so D just like follows you around on like Facebook and stuff and interferes.
And Sneasel too. Sneasel and some idiot named Patrick Kelly. And then there's one that's calling himself Worker X, who I suspect is Big Todd on your board. And these people are just all up in my shit. I post something, they've got it within minutes.
And the Hoffman Group is just for people who don't know, it's like AMB is just this other like an internet group, but the Hoffman Group is like
fucking troll. That's what it is. It's total bullshit.
Would you compare it to gang stalking, like the Hoffman Group?
I would compare the Hoffman Group to Flim Flam that they use to just scam people like me. I don't think that Kevin Hoffman actually exists. I don't think that they're actually, high level contraband traffickers. I mean, these people are trying to tell me they're in business with the Sinaloa cartel and sex trafficking and all sorts of shit. What the fuck was it this week? Oh, that's right. I brought up Sinaloa, and then Jimmy Webster, also known as Dr. Hugh G. Rexon. He's a cop, New York cop that was retired early for a bad racially motivated shooting. Shot a black kid in the back while he was sitting in a wheelchair.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's true, but that's the legend.
So you mentioned the FBI before, and that it went nowhere. Why doesn't the FBI help?
The FBI, there's dozens of formal complaints against your board with the FBI. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know 10 of them have put them in there. I don't want to mention their names. I'll just refer to them as mothers of transgender children that you guys were stalking. I know they went to the FBI. I know Marissa's been to the FBI. Who the fuck else? I don't know, but it just, I'd imagine that Brianna Wu has talked to somebody and told the same thing that I've been told. It's beneath their threshold. They don't have enough manpower.
It would be pretty easy for the FBI to seize the hardware. It's not out of the country or anything.
It would be, but there's no cause strong enough for them to come and do it. I went to him when I first came into this picture. I'm just an old hippie artist, okay? I've been building computers. I've been building electronic equipment all my life. And they're just, to me, the computer is just a tool of my art. I use the word processor. I use the image production tools and broadcasting tools and stuff. I have fucking Office loaded in here. I don't use it. And you know, I haven't written a fucking line of code since 1974. Fucking thing either fixes itself or it gets reinstalled. Because I'm a hardware integrator. I'm just putting the fucking thing together so I can use it for my job. And I forgot where I was going with that.
We're talking about the FBI and their causes.
Oh, FBI, right. So here I am. I'm getting totally brutalized in the browser wars because I have a broadband capable local network that was too far from the wire pop, and the wire pop was too far from the first repeater. So I'm looking at I think it was 7,000 feet, and then 15,000 feet, and then 35,000 feet to the server farm. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with the requirements for broadband?
No, I've been to a data center. I've been to a server farm before, but I've never.
I think they need to be under 15,000. I think it needs to be under 5,000 feet to be good.
Okay, yeah, because there's a limitation in fiber optic cable regarding how far it can send data.
You see how close they have to have that stinking 5G 300 meters, no more than 300 meters apart.
Yeah.
It's just blanketing us in fucking radiation. Oh, but it's safe, man. Yeah.
So you're a big believer that the 5G stuff is a health hazard?
Belief and disbelief are terms that I try to avoid using.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in a scientific method, you know, science is not the same as religion.
Right.
Because, you know, when one scientist says, well, if you poke a needle in a basketball, it's gonna deflate. Well, then another scientist comes along and finds out that it doesn't happen all the time. You dig?
Mm-hmm.
So we don't need to belabor that.
So you would say that the evidence, the data that exists, indicates that 5G is...
You know, nothing and everything are just reference points. They can't actually exist. And in science, especially in things like, you know, organic chemistry, you're looking at, you know, when you put reagent A, B, and C into a flask, you don't always get it to turn into D. Okay? You know, mix this with this and this, and you get this, right? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Well, there's all sorts of other shit that happens in there too. So you don't just get that end product, you get all sorts of other things that happen when you mix those things together. So instead of belief in the sciences, we look at the probability of truth or falsehood. You know, what's the probability of this being valid? What's the probability of this being invalid? So what was your question? Let me answer it in those terms.
Why? Well, that's the 5G question was a tangent.
Oh,
I was
the 5G
asking.
question is 99.9% certain that shit's dangerous. It was developed for weapons by Israel, and Israel is like not allowing it to be rolled out there. What does that tell you?
They don't trust it, obviously.
Yeah. Why would I want to trust it if the guys that invented it won't install
it? Someone asked if you're Jewish.
Jewish is a problematic term and always has been. The origin of the word Jew, according to my rabbi, who taught us that we were the children of Israel and practicing the Hebrew faith, which is the all one God faith that Abraham learned from the priest Melchizedek when he arrived in Jerusalem, you know, that breaking of the idols thing. Mm-hmm. Well, Hebrew faith, you know, Jews didn't invent the Hebrew faith. Okay? It was there when the Jews arose. And the problem with the word Jew goes back to the kingdom of Israel, when the tribe Judah broke off from the rest of them, and they fucked up so bad that the Babylonians conquered everything. So what the Babylonians did was call everybody Jews. So like the only real Jews are the tribe of Judah, and that tribe is Jewish because they fucked up and lost the protection of the Holy Spirit because they didn't obey the mitzvahs. So here we are today. You can be a Zionist Jew, but you cannot be a loyal Hebrew Israelite at the same time.
So would you consider the current government of Israel to be illegitimate?
The current government of Israel and the current government of the United States have never been legitimate. They've always been plutocratic oligarchies covertly operated by the multinational industrial banker gangsters. Always, both of them, and all the rest of them. Any of the British colonies, all of it, none of them are legitimate. Call it a fucking democracy. You can't call a country whose industrial base is ruled by 16 families or 18 families or something like that. You cannot call that democratic. That is an oligarchy. And that's the situation all over the world. Anywhere they call it a democracy, it's really an oligarchy. There aren't any, I don't know of any legitimate governments anymore, except maybe New Zealand.
New Zealand. I have a bad history with New Zealand. I don't think I can go there anymore. Was that guy a member, or did you just have the live stream on the site? No, he was not a member. He I happened to catch the link to it at immediately after it happened. It was still up on Facebook, and I thought, I should download this and re-upload it. And that gained a lot of attention because I know.
I watched it. I saw it all go down. I'm wondering, why was I know you didn't want to take it down, because that's the kind of board you run. What was their reason for wanting you to take it down?
They felt that it was offensive to the surviving members of the family and community. And on top of that, what really insulted me, I would have been a lot more civil, but the police for New Zealand wanted me to record all the IP addresses of everyone who replied to the thread where the video was.
Hey, baby, no. You're going to need a warrant, and you come in and do it yourself.
Well, I mean, even if they had a warrant, they wouldn't have had authority within the U.S.,
Well, right. But I'm smoking, so I got extra coffee right now. That it offends me shit. And for them to censor, God, that bothers the fuck out of me. I was trying to share just a silly little song called the Dickhead Song. Have you ever heard it?
Maybe not off the top of my head.
Here, let me put it on. Your people like this. Let me put it on.
Okay.
I tried to share this silly little song, and fucking Facebook jumps up with their, people thought this was offensive, so you can't share it. I said, well, fuck, tell them not to listen to it then.
I'll play this in a second when you send it over, but something else happened that Facebook found either offensive or obscene, and they took down, and you celebrated that just today, I think.
Oh, that was like a really validating moment, man. Because I was laughing my ass off already because I had gone through so many, it took me so long, and I had so many contortions to get maximum boob and zero nipple. So I was already laughing. And
well, can you clarify for people what happened? Because I haven't said. They might not know.
I can show as much of my tit as I want, as long as I don't show any nipple.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really weird because it's like female nipple. Male nipples are okay. and I don't my female nipples ain't really that big. I mean, it's just like, you know, I forget what Tanner stage they call it, but it's like about a sophomore in high school kind of boob that I've got right now. And I'd gone to all this effort to keep from having my nipple in the picture. And then instantly, I mean, it was like as soon as I uploaded, bam, comes straight back. This is in violation. And so I'm laughing at that. And then I just started to settle down from all laughing. And one of the leading influencers, you know what LO50 is?
LO50? No, I don't.
Well, that's the online lesbians over 50 community.
Okay.
So like the main mover and shaker in Tucson, and because like, you know, we have, you know, it's at least a nationwide social network where they plan local events together in the real world and virtual events, you know, intercity virtual events together. It's a really cool organization. And nice folks, lots of fun folks.
Before you go on, do you mind if I put the picture that got deleted up on stream?
I don't care. I don't care what picture.
I just want to show people because they're curious.
I'm not even looking at the screen right now.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure before. You know.
I don't see the picture. I don't see anything on the screen. Where do I look, in the chat?
No, it's a YouTube thing.
I don't see anybody in the chat. Is anybody chatting with you?
I'll post the link to the YouTube video so you can look at it.
Well, I'm gonna just say hi in the chat to anybody who's there.
You know, the stream is being broadcasted on YouTube. It's not through.
I see. So what's this? That's
the link to the broadcast that people are watching.
What's the link that I just clicked on?
The YouTube link. That's the link to the live stream.
My live stream or yours?
Mine.
The one right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, I see. You put the picture up on this, and I have too many tabs open. I need to shut some tabs down. My browser's blogging.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to ask, make sure it's okay.
You put the picture up on this, and
you may want to close that tab or mute it.
I lost it. I have too many tabs open. I need to shut some tabs down. My browser's blogging. Boy, you got checking
I just wanted to ask, make sure it's okay.
You put the picture up on this, and
you'll have to find that tab and close it because I can hear the stream.
I have too many tabs open. I need to shut some tabs down. My browser's blogging. Boy, you got checking I just wanted to ask, make sure it's okay. You put the picture up on this, and
you'll have to find that tab and close it because I can hear the screen.
Which tab do I need to close?
You need to either close the YouTube tab or you need to mute the video. Just close out the tab.
Okay, got it.
Okay, you got it. Perfect.
Shit.
What happened?
I can't see the chat.
I can post you a link specifically to the chat that will not play the audio. 1 second.
Oh, good.
Here you go. This should be what you need. Or actually,
now I lost. I mean, I just got way too many fucking tabs open here. You know, this is. You know, they want to tell me, it's just a regular fucking PC desktop. This is a local area network server. I got a 24-inch screen in front of me, and I got like 25 tabs open. I don't know where anything is. Okay, there's that.
Yeah, click the one that says www, not studio.youtube. That'll show you the chat, and you can read along.
I don't see anything that says www here yet.
It's in the Zoom chat.
I see hi. I see the link that I first clicked, then me saying hi, and then you to everyone, and that says HTTPS Studio.
The one below that. Scroll down a little bit. I'll send it again in case.
Yeah, you better. I don't see it.
I'll send it just to you. And then, did you get that?
No. Maybe
Are you sure?
Private.
Are you sure?
It is.
Okay. Yeah, and that's the chat. And then when you get that open, I think you left off at the lesbians over 50 uh, Facebook
Right,
group, or
that's
just
it's
a
over 50. So what happened was I'm coming down from all this cracking up, and I got to be careful about laughing too much, especially when people like Sneasel and them are running a fucking idiot at me, and they think I'm angry, and I'm sitting there laughing. Because when I laugh too much is that's when I get in trouble for not paying close enough attention to detail. Hi, Ilu. Yeah, right, Nick. Fuck off. I bought a tower. I'm waiting on the upgrade for it. I never could. Hi, not Mega Man. Hello, Sprue. I can't. Hi, dude. Hello, Shoebox. Thanks, Black Maids. We love you too. Nice to see you.
Got a lot of fans in the chat. So okay, you're having to restrain yourself from laughing at the owner of this group.
I have to do that because that's when I end up, going in a manic break. I'll end up spending 15 hours a day at the typewriter laughing, and then I'll go outside and end up getting busted for something. I have my bliss plans that I have to pretty much stick to because my shit's been fucked up so much by the infant surgery.
Yeah.
I have so many behavioral health problems, and my calmness is on a fucking hair trigger, man. They used to call me rapid cycling manic depressive. It's like, no, I'm just being me and responding to the stimuli in the environment. And if I'm frightened enough, I'm going to hurt it without even asking. And that's not appropriate in polite society. And here, you guys, I'm a two-spirit, and I don't deny my male aspect, but all these fucking assholes are always trying to like jam me and want to bring Tom up. They want to see Tom chimp out, and that's so cruel to a person like me, because it's the chemicals of that chimp out are hurting me inside. They're harming my organs. They're making me angry like that.
You're talking about like the stress hormones and the cortisol and stuff. You're
all that shit. They're a bunch of Schadenfreude junkies getting their rocks off on me getting upset. Then add in the professional cyber terrorists. They're feeding them the misinformation, and it's been very difficult. The last few months that they've been like really intrusive. They show up wherever they can. I can't even keep an account anywhere other than Facebook or YouTube. I'm gonna try and light up at Quora and Medium and Twitter a new generally stupid kind of handle.
Is this just to avoid certain people, or are you getting banned from Twitter?
No, well, I have to be on these sites incognito because I'm marked by the government for interdiction. I'm that dangerous to status quo.
Well, you talk to the government all the time, don't you?
No.
You talk to at least the Tucson Police Department a lot.
That's not the police. That's not the government. That's the police department.
I don't think you ever finished your story about the lesbians.
Oh, yeah, the lesbians. Okay, this is good, Josh. I'll be glad to do this with you regularly because I'm not mad at the internet. I'm pissed off at the assholes that are up my ass.
No, it's just the name. It's not a indictment against you.
No, I understand. I want to compliment you for like a lot of maturity since the last time I talked to you.
Thank you.
Is Tommy a secret agent? No, Tommy's a wide open agent. I'm declaring myself generally stupid. The commandant of the space farce of the United States of Americans.
So
I had been calling myself Admiral, and the Commander in Chief of the provisional government of the United States of America, provisional revolutionary government. Because we're at that point, man. Our government has been so boring. Everything was just peachy keen and dandy with the bipartisan bullshit until Trump came along and decided he's going to take over for him and his buddies. Okay, you dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you agree with what I'm saying?
Well, I have my opinions about Trump that aren't positive.
Do you feel like he's doing a good job and you want to reelect him, or would you like to see him fucking hung?
I mean, I'm not that far. I just see Trump as someone who probably wanted to do things when he got into office, and then the reality of the position of the presidency not being the end all be all of government set in. And I mean, in terms of meeting his promises, I don't think Trump has accomplished anything.
No. Did you see that a piece of the wall fell over in a hurricane the other day?
How does the wall to a hurricane? Did a hurricane hit the Gulf of Texas or something?
In a couple of sections of that wall, took them right down.
Well, that's a shame. The lesbian story. We need to get around to that at some point because I'm getting more and more curious.
Whoa. Kate Winslet. I'm not a communist. I'm a constitutionalist. I'm a radical anarcho-capitalist. Fair trade capitalism and the United States Constitution and the Torah is what I stand on. Fuck you and your communism, you bitch.
So the lesbian story.
Kara Sprouse thinks he's Sneasel's. Tommy killed the Red Menace. Thanks, Tommy. Thank you, oh shit. Yeah, Tom. The reason Tommy is called Crazy Tommy, no, Tommy is the CIA asset. Different. I don't benefit from anything they do with what they get from me. I'm an unwilling asset of the CIA.
Unwilling, how?
I've been under close surveillance since at least 1970.
But how are you an asset to the CIA?
I've been under close surveillance since 1970. Nothing coming anywhere near me is safe from being spotted by the spooks. They're watching me from a fucking satellite. I have metal in my face. It's easy to spot me in a crowd.
Why do you have metal in your face?
When I smashed it in 1999, they had to screw it back together.
What'd you smash it on?
Oh, you don't know this story? This is one in 1999. 1989 was my Elvis year. And I don't know what to call 1999, but
Elvis year in like the height of Tommy Tooter, or
Elvis year was like, yeah, that was Tommy Tooter's big year.
And 1999 was like the opposite end, the David Hasselhoff end.
The 1999, I got cleaned out of everything I owned, pretty much. I don't even want to. Oh boy, between the Rainbow Gathering in Pennsylvania and the Woodstock Festival in Bethel, New York, I lost pretty much everything I owned, and I limped my way to Austin, Texas, and a fellow named Fonty Fox, who was one of what Rainbow Family calls vocalizers for Austin.
Mm-hmm.
They call him that plumber guy, because he was the one that fixed everybody's pipes. And he let me stay on his land while I tried to find a place. And my father helped me buy a house, but the only thing that I could afford ended up like right on the fucking dope pipeline in Del Valley, just up the road from Mustang Ridge, which was like where it comes up out of the valley. The pipeline comes up out of the valley through there. And,
the oil pipelines do.
Huh?
The oil pipelines? You're saying that you were right next to an oil pipeline?
Pipeline. Coming across the border at Brownsville.
Okay. So you're saying you were in a cartel drug area?
Right. I had a crack house next door to me. Two meth labs down the street. So it got stupid. I lasted 10 years in there, but it just got too stupid. And my father sold the house out from underneath me in 2010, which was another, was it 2010 or 20? I forget. I've lost a year somewhere. I don't know how. What happened was I had a pup that was really stupid. And we went, and I had gotten this house, and there was a brother that we had planned on getting together to do a commune thing out there together. We were going to build a computer camp, a cyber camp in soft buildings kind of thing was what he had in mind. Teepee camp, computers and teepees. And he didn't have any money. So he ended up hanging out at, I'd heard he was at Camp Ben McCullough in Dripping Springs in Hayes County. And that was a former Confederate Army camp. That's a tourist spot now, where they got the rock climbing on it, how rivers will carve out,
a canyon.
Yeah, it's more like a gorge here. Yeah, because it was tributary, so it just kind of cut out a gorge there, but it had nice rock stuff. And
okay, you're getting to it.
The dog got caught up on a ledge. I was whining at me, so I knew it was dangerous to climb up there because it's that kind of stuff where it's fucking barely more than mud. And I was real careful, hugging the wall and everything, trying to get to him. And I was almost to where I could grab him, and the ledge crumbled. And I hit my face several times on the cliff coming down, and that broke my jaw in 3 places and shattered the suborbital, what's it called? It shattered the bones that hold the eyeball in. On the left side.
Like right where your eyebrow is?
You can see it if you look close. You can see where my chin was popped here, and you can see where it was put back together there and here.
Well, if you're showing your video, I can't see your video.
Oh, you can't see my video. Well, look at my pictures real close at my left eye.
And you can see the scars.
And you can see, get a good picture of me and look at my left eye close, and you can see it. They did a really good job, because you can't see it unless you're really looking for it. You can't tell that my face was totally fucking smashed. Thank you, dyslexic. There's the orbital socket. Liberals get the bullet to, which means that you're a conservatar. You probably live at the summit of stupid mountain. There's no cure for stupid, man. There really isn't a cure for stupid. We can quiet it down a little bit by putting a little duct tape over its face.
All right, so round back to the burning.
Next time, they're asked, we'll do it with a live video, unless you can change it now.
I can do it right now.
Okay, well let me light up my camera too. I actually have clothes on. Well, it's so fucking hot. I started wearing panties for the first time just because it was easier to stand up with all my junk sticking to the panties than to my chair.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's pretty. Everyone seems to be suffering from the heat wave right now.
Oh, well, geez, this is Tucson. You guys aren't even getting up to what we normally get. Yeah. Um, let's see. Share screen. Hot disabled participation screen sharing. What happened there?
It's not share
Oh,
screen. It's on the left
I
hand
have to
side.
start the video. I
Yes.
haven't, my video's not running. It won't let me. Cannot start video. Please select another video. Well, I don't have another video camera. Sorry.
We'll set it up next time. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we'll do it. I think what it was that I connected from the start. Well, I just check. Yeah, that's the only camera I've got. Let's see. Yeah, I got a nice new camera a little while back. I got a lot. You know how much Logitech 9000 costs new?
Uh, I don't know how much.
I don't know. I'm questioning you. I think it's like somewhere in the 120 to 150 range. And
I mean, maybe. Are you? Do you live stream still? I know you. I know you used to live stream, but it's been a while
I
since I've
haven't
had.
been doing much. I've been doing a little lately. It's just been so fucked up, man.
So
Tommy started OnlyFans. No, I don't think so. What do I think about fascism? Well, how do we define fascism? This is important. Fascism is what Mussolini did to Italy, where he and a group of businessmen took over the country. Kind of like what Donald Trump is doing. That's fascism.
what did Hitler do then?
Sending Hitler was National Socialism.
Okay.
And
Is that better or worse?
I don't know. I think National Socialism has a little better chance because that's what's going on in all these social democratic countries. Is National Socialism. It's that the people of the country are running the country, which is really pretty much what America was always supposed to be, but it never was. They built in all these loopholes for white guys, rich white guys who are Christian or occultists. The nation was founded by a bunch of occultists.
Well, we have it on the money, don't we? The seals. We have it on the money, don't we? The Masonic seals.
Well, that's a guy's name, Adam Weishaupt was a contemporary of Rothschild. Rothschild made his designs on Jerusalem very, very clear in the 1820s. Told us what they were going to do and then did it. And in 1923, Zev Jabotinsky come along and wrote something called the Iron Wall Essays. And that's when Zionism became fascist. It was right there in 1923. It was from the very beginning, the Jews themselves, the people that were faithful to the Hebrew faith, are saying, no, you can't do that. There's the three oaths. We are not allowed by tradition. This is not Jewish law, it's tradition. It's a Mishnah, Gemara Mishnah, something like that. That we are not allowed to return en masse to take over at the expense of the Gentiles. That's just forbidden. But God didn't tell Moses that. See, unless God told Moses, it's just tradition. Only the Torah is law.
You said you said white people kind of in a negative way, I guess. Do you consider you're religiously a Hebrew, but you consider yourself what?
Well, this is an interesting one. I should let me get this video for you because this is very important. There were indigenous people in Europe. There still are, the Samis in Norway, or Finland or something. And they were white, Caucasian, but they're indigenous. They're tribal people. They were not industrial, this fiefdom. It's a nation state. It's a church state fiefdom. The world is divided up into these little blocks of church states. Okay, and they're all competing for world control. And what happens, and has been happening for thousands of years, is that the banker gangsters, the industrialists. Buckminster Fuller identified them as the great pirates that are in control of the trade routes. So they set up a puppet government on both ends. And then when they need to like shake things up for some reason or other, they start a war and profit from it, playing both ends from the middle. And this has been going on forever. And this all that the United States has ever been about was these people building a perpetual war machine and profiting from the blood, sweat, and tears of people that they've convinced to commit mass murder against each other.
Do you think that these things protect people like Yawning Sneasel, myself, the forum, anyway?
Say what?
Do you think that any of these things, because the government obviously hasn't taken down the forum, do you think any of these things contribute to the fact that the government has not taken down the forum or arrested Sneasel, myself, anything like that?
It's quite possible that what you're doing is something that the fascists would like to see. Sure. You're doing them a favor by giving all those artists, all those dissident artists that you're stalking, you're doing them a favor. But then, Medium is left wing, and they get away with a lot of shit too.
So, what is
Medium? Medium.com.
Like the Twitter article publishing site.
Yeah.
What's on Medium that's offensive?
Oh, I don't know, but boy, they shut me down in a week as soon as the Hoffman guy showed up. They sent Grace Candace in there. She asked me 4 questions, and I answered them very politely and told her, no, Grace, I'm sorry, I'm not going to play with you trolls like this here. Because I had paid $50 for the, I figured if I paid $50, I'd get some protection for my copyrights. No, didn't even get account protected, because as soon as the trolls showed up, I didn't even have any conflicts with anybody. Just that Grace, hardly anybody was seeing my shit or anything. Grace shows up, asked me 4 questions. I asked her the question, I forget exactly what went down between me and Medium. Next thing I know, I'm getting my fee back. And the next thing I log into Medium, it tells me my account's under investigation. Well, what the fuck is it under investigation for? What did I do? Well, all I did was go look at what I posted there, and you'll see what I did. You tell me why I got kicked out.
What did you write about?
Oh, an open letter to Donald Trump telling him to resign, and why. I forget what the fuck all I wrote about. I wrote a couple of nice pieces, and I a lot of interesting comments on other people's shit.
So one of the things mentioned in the PM chain that we had right before we got into a call, Daisy May said that you had been in psych recently. Hello?
I've been under so much stress lately. I was requesting a 3-day weekend at the funny farm. If I couldn't get anybody to take me out to the woods, I needed to get away from my studio completely. I was under so much stress, and my environment was going to hell so badly that I needed to get away. And it took me a while. It took me a couple of weeks to get it set up. And what happened was they set it up with a company, some psychiatric hospital. They don't even call them that anymore. They call it behavioral health. How about calling it behavioral modification or behavioral colonization? Training somebody to obey commands is kind of fucking shit the whole psychiatric specialty's gotten itself into. It's just, oh well, if they won't behave properly, they don't even wait to see if they can get you to behave properly. They just start you out on drugs. Better living through chemistry,
So they gave you like anti-psych while you were there?
No. What happened was, and I didn't know this until later, the admitting nurse, my case manager, called them with the orders, which was pretty much, I haven't seen what she sent in writing, but the order should have been like for a 3-day break with no drugs, and I had requested internet access with moderator. I wanted to make sure somebody was watching me so that I didn't get sucked into the internet, because that's what I needed to get away from. But I need to check things every day. Because I'm not just, these idiots think that I'm only at your site or AMD or at YouTube bleeding about it. And that's just fucking nonsense.
So they didn't grant you internet access while you were there?
Huh?
They didn't grant you internet access while you were there?
Well, I never got admitted. I realized there was a problem when, like, right from the beginning, they come and pick me up, and the first thing the guy that's driving just starts asking the fucking safety questions. And it's like, nah, man, I'm not even getting in the car with you. So the intern from El Rio took me over there, and she promised to stay close, but she didn't.
So I mean, yeah. So you had a 3-day weekend with this facility, or?
I was expecting a 3-day weekend at a facility in the foothills.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got there, I discovered that. Well, I didn't discover it. I just started freaking out because they were sitting me in the waiting room too long. And it's like, oh, well, how come, you should have the bed, you should have the room ready and just take me right in. What's the hang up? And it's getting more and more tense when I realized, okay, I got a problem and I think I want to leave. At which point the nurse came in and said, oh no, we're going to petition you if you try to do that. I'm like, what? And on what grounds? And I'm just here for a rest. Turns out that the person taking the order over the phone wrote it down as, I'm off my meds, in extreme crisis, and suicidal.
Did you say that you were suicidal on the phone?
Fuck no. I never talked to them. My case manager was trying to make a reservation for a 3-day break that had very little therapy. No drugs, no forced anything, just our patient needs a place to relax. And that's not how it was written down, that I was in acute distress. It's how it got written, in suicidal. It's how it got written down. So these people were on alert from the moment they made contact with me, which started getting me upset because I can tell when I'm being looked at that way. And it took 2 MHST officers to come out there and convince them that they needed to let me go. And what it really was they were selling a 7 to 10-day program that they never told my manager about. They had no way to accommodate me for 3 days because it was 7-day minimum. And they never told her that. And then she told them to get, to call them for my records, which they never did. It was totally fucking malpractice all the way around.
When you mentioned your case manager, was that someone you had just met for this, or is it someone that you knew?
No, I know her. She's been on the case for a while now.
Is she someone from like the police department, or?
No. My case manager is El Rio. They have for behavioral health. They have a case manager. Now,
was that something that like you volunteer for? Is it like a government thing?
Oh, I'm independent. I have no ordered anything from the government. I get my Social Security disability check and do what I want with it. And
so I mean, are you paying this person, or are you paying this person, this case manager, or?
No. It's El Rio Community Health Center is where my services are. My primary's there, and the behavioral health services are there. And and it's a community clinic. And my coverage is called Access, Arizona Healthcare Cost Containment System, called Access. And boy, they pay for everything, pretty much.
So it's like a Medicare, Medicaid thing, and they.
Right. I got Medicare, and they're the one. It's a Medicare, Medicaid, And instead of calling it Medicaid in Arizona, they call it Access.
Okay.
It's the same thing as Medicaid.
So what was happening that week that made you want to check yourself in to a hold?
Well, it wasn't a week. Fuck, it was from the beginning of the year. You know, I'm a gonzo journalist. You know what a gonzo journalist is?
A gonzo journalist is a journalist who doesn't. Why don't you explain it?
I think the easiest way to do it is, you know, picture yourself as Hunter Thompson at a party in the woods with the Hells Angels. Okay?
I mean, I know that Hunter Thompson like kind of came up with the idea of a gonzo journalist, but it's.
Well, I don't know if he came up with it, but he's the one they described it. I think the easiest way to describe it is that a gonzo journalist writes the story from inside, where the regular journalist is writing it from the perimeter. The gonzo journalist is writing the story from inside the story. The gonzo journalist is part of the story. And these guys, that's why these guys get on me so much when it's, hey, you're not the journalist, look at that, you're just talking about yourself as well. This is my experience related to the story that I'm sharing, basically I share news and entertainment media with my commentary and have been doing that for the last 20 years. I've never been able to get anywhere because I've always been like censored and harassed and not been able to dig in anywhere and build an audience. Facebook keeps me banned. I'm blocked there more than I can post, and my groups end up dormant while I'm blocked. They just totally blow my ability to personal and business network when they do it for a month. And Twitter won't let me have an account at all, and neither will Quora. And I'm not sure what's going to happen with Medium because they just returned the money, puts a flag on my account, and have never responded to any email explaining what happened. Which is weird. I don't know what I'm going to do with Medium at this point. But
so
Twitter,
you've been just to cycle back. You said you were a gonzo journalist. You've been a gonzo journalist for 20, 30 years. Not been able to have much, I guess, financial success with that. And this year, something happened with that kind of led to a problem recently.
I don't know what you mean.
Well, you said the involuntary hold. You said there were a lot of stress. You said that this entire year, has been a big stressor. It was kind of
this year. I haven't been on an involuntary hold in years. Trying to get.
Well, I didn't say involuntary. I just said the hold. The when you tried to check yourself in.
It's just been I have a groove. I get up in the morning. I check the news feed. I read my morning news, putter through the day because I'm doing a lot more than just hanging out on the forums. I'm in the middle of my studio. I'm surrounded by my musical instruments. I got the Stones behind me, and I just do other things. I like to get out and walk around some. I don't want to be sitting here all day. I have this groove point, and there's so much stress that I can handle easily where it's constructive, and if it gets to be too much, it starts to hurt and wear me down. When the COVID thing got added into everything, that just the daily stupidity, I coined it. It got so crazy this week. I coined a new term. It's kaleidoscopic stupidity, where it's just a never-ending change and pattern of just one stupid thing after another. It's like everybody's turned into Florida Man or something.
So I mean, has COVID restricted your ability to go outside and busk? Because I know you like to busk and stuff.
Yeah, it's still the busking. I don't think I made $20 busking since March.
And has that kind of been the main reason you're just kind of cooped inside and you don't have much reason to go outside? I'm just kind of hoping for like a recount of events this year, because again, we haven't spoken in a while. I haven't been keeping track for like the last year.
Right. Well, the last summer around this time was when they were swatting me, like August and September. And so from there, my life's been pretty uneventful, actually. I'm an old hippie artist. I have old friends that I'm jibber jabbering with all the time, all week long, and there's a lot of youngsters that look up to me as their auntie, and a lot of idiots that want to challenge me for being smarter than them and telling me that I'm stupid.
Where do you have like the auntie following? Is it like a Facebook thing, or
none of anybody's business. Mostly, for the most part, it's young. It's LGBTQ, any kind of queer kid under 20, and trans people in early transition over 40. Those are my nieces and nephews.
is this just like a local thing? Like you participate in the community and you know people from that?
Well, no, most of them, it's internet community. I'm part of the global advocacy network. There's, we got Suicide Watch going all the time over there. When anybody says anything looking at least bit suicidal, there's people come right in and try to support her or him. Like I said, I know more about the science of sex and gender than anybody that doesn't have a PhD or MD after their name. I don't know anybody who knows as much as me, not even the old pioneer advocates don't know as much about the science as I do. They know a lot more about the history and the trials and tribulations, but I've been studying the science all my life. And this is very valuable information for these people that are, constantly having to debate their validity with their fucking neighbors.
Yeah.
And the neighbors are sitting there arguing with them, standing on shitty scripture interpretations. God never mentioned transsexuals or transgender people or homosexual. I mean, Jesus never mentioned, it's love everybody. It wasn't conditional, it's love everybody. You don't like it, don't look, leave it alone. That's what we're supposed to, judge not. Let he who is without sin cast the first stone and all that happy shit. You don't like it, don't look.
Well, from your experience with this advocacy network, at what age do you think people are like the most emotionally vulnerable and needing kind of outside help?
I don't know if it's age so much as circumstance. It could be any age. It's circumstance much more. The research has been very clear that when a minor is allowed to socially transition in a supportive environment, all the behavioral health parameters, all these awful behavioral health parameters that are associated with transgender people, they disappear. And the kids, once you put a transgender kid into a supportive environment, may end up excelling. The suicide rate drops back down into the normal range. Self-harm rate back in the normal range. Kids get amazing scores on their academic achievement tests. They used to trot me out every year as the smartest boy in the school. I got bullied for being too smart more than I got bullied. I never got bullied for being too fruity because my family wouldn't let me. I had a wicked laugh. And I only got bullied because I'm intersex. So I couldn't get naked in the gym without getting spotted. And that's a horror for so many of us. Is that fucking high school gym? All them hairy boys wanting to fuck you or beat you or both.
And I don't know. Did we ever complete the story about the lesbians on Facebook? Because you had some kind of.
So. I don't think so. Thanks for getting me back, because that was the most hilarious thing in the whole day. Is this woman was new to the internet, and she shared a story from The Onion that claimed that Trump had use the federal troops and tear gas to clear the field so that he could throw out the first ball at RFK Stadium. So he could throw it. And she thought, she never heard of the Onion. And she's like, oh my fucking God, is this real?
I can't believe someone would believe that.
There's a lot of people there's a lot of people coming online now since the COVID thing that have never been on the internet before.
Oh yeah, because everyone's forced online now. You don't have the option.
Yeah, you got to live your life online now, and so like there's all these people that have never heard of like the Babylon Bee, or the Onion, or what's that, the British one. I mean, there's a lot of really good spoof sites that do a really good job and make a believable looking satire. And people are always, I'll come on a friend's page where he's shared it and they didn't, my contemporaries, generally, we like to let people know if it's old news, like if you share a 10-year-old story that's relevant to what's trending now. That's a real, that's a propaganda trick. Where they'll, you know what I'm talking about? Where
they'll bring up something that happened a couple of years ago just because it's relevant.
It happened now to get them more excited about what's going on now. And there's a lot of it. Most of it actually is strictly for clickbait. It's very profitable. But from what I understand, they make a lot of money. These guys that are doing fake news.
Did you get into an argument with this woman who posted the Onion article?
Oh hell no! I teased her. I said, "Welcome to the internet, Patty." No, that's I love lesbians in this town because they're so non-confrontational. Nobody gives anybody any shit. See, this whole all these people that have to like come up with a more powerful insult than their opponent, and then spend fucking hours yelling at each other. What use is that? I'm only hippie, and
do you have issues?
I would much rather be like sharing compliments with each other all day long than trying to cut anybody down. I've worked very hard in the last few weeks to avoid saying things that I don't want people to say to me.
Do you have any issues fitting in with like these lesbian groups? Because I've heard from like trans people that the lesbian groups can be really exclusionary.
They can, and the trans groups can be exclusionary in their own way. Non-binary people had a hard time in Tucson getting any support out of Saga until all the queer people of color ran the whole board off, took over, ran off all the white people. Like all that fucking shame and blame cancel culture shit. Fuck them. And then the Kiwi farmers get in there, Kiwi and Sneasel and them, went and groomed them, filled them full of bullshit about me being this horrible monster. And then when Lisette Trujillo, when finally come back to me, I contacted Lisette Trujillo and said, look, Lisette, this is what's going on. And she's like, oh, you actually got in bed with a minor? And she went nuts. Same thing with JP Martin. Oh, you actually got in bed with a minor? Well, hey, it won fucking nothing and nobody got harmed. But the way they presented it to them, now all of a sudden I'm a threat to their kids. And it spread all through the community. The 420 family and Saga all been jibber jabbering to each other about what an awful monster I really am.
Yeah, I know the stories with all that. Speaking of Sneasel, because this is something that was in the conversation chain, I'm gonna throw this up on the stream. What's the story with this black guy?
Look, here's millennial turkeys. That's the idiot with the fucking shitty Russian accent. I admit to programming people who hate Tom. If I was in that, you better watch out, because if I'm the next Ted Kaczynski, it's going to be a fucking nuke. That's one of the reasons that they worry about me. Is that I have certain skills in making things go boom.
Well, I would advise against threatening to bomb the government. That's not usually a good idea.
Well, you know, I got a potentially homicidal jacket in my jacket, potentially homicidal flag in my jacket, and I never hurt anybody worse than I needed to get away from them. And well, I never blew up anything for anything but fun, and I blow up little piles of dog shit or something for fun. I never blew up a building. The worst thing we ever did was blow up a portable toilet.
I mean, are you familiar with Ted? Do you know like his book and stuff? Do you find it?
Well, I know somebody who knows Ted.
Like on the inside or before he went to jail?
When he still had a job.
Yeah.
Ted worked for one of my friends' family's farm. I forget who it was too. He just told the story, and he tried to share something, and it didn't work. The link didn't work. But I'm familiar with the story. I'm not the details. I never read the manifesto. But I know how to make a really big bomb, but I've never done it. I don't even know where to get the plutonium. I know where to get the tools that I need to make a sphere. But I don't know where to get the plutonium. I just know what to do with it if somebody brought it to me, which is the problem. You know, it was a problem for them in Venice when they busted the Blue Cheer lab up in the Hague, I think it was, and they rescued some stuff and brought it to me, wanting me to finish it off for them. Nobody had the financial resources to buy the equipment I needed to do it. So I didn't.
Did you think that was like a setup or something?
No,
kind of weird to just be given like material like that.
No, it's a family, man. That's the way the family works. I'm a rainbow hippie. I'm crazy Tommy. I didn't get the handle because I'm insane. I got the handle because I'm crazy enough to stand in between the family and the cops. Took a couple of beatings for the family. That's what got me the crazy Tommy handle.
So we kind of got off on a tangent. I was curious about this black guy who is apparently a drug dealer, and you were taking.
Please, what's the story? Go get yourself a map up. And get 22nd Street and 4th Avenue up on your map in Tucson. Blow it up big.
All right, one sec. 22nd and 4th Avenue in Tucson, right?
Right.
Okay, 1 second.
I'll give you the layout of my neighborhood.
All right. Tell me if this is accurate. It's right next to the Iglesia Hispana Central de Tucson.
I live right across the street from that.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm looking at like a Chevron, a Quick Mart, and a.
Right. The church is at 5th and 21st.
Mm-hmm.
And I live directly across from the church. If you're looking at Street View, there will be a building there with an orange security fence around it. That's my bad.
So is he like a dealer in the area? What's the story?
He appears to me to be one of the distributors.
Okay.
Because I've seen him. I see him in groups. I see him passing bags. One of the And I hadn't even paid any attention to it until a few weeks ago, where it just started getting bolder and bolder and bolder. And a few weeks ago, maybe a couple, 3-4 weeks ago, I was going to the Santa Rita Plaza, where the laundromat and the Chinese market is.
Mm-hmm.
You see it?
Yeah, it's right next to it.
I was walking down the east side of the street with my long lens, scanning the other side of the street, looking for something to shoot. Wasn't really looking at anything in particular. And next thing I know, the guy's up in my face, yelling at me for pointing a camera at him, knocked me down. And I had to protect the camera, so I couldn't fight back. I just backpedaled and yelled, get away from me, get the fuck away from me, get the fuck away from me. I wasn't taking a picture.
Well, how'd you get this picture of him?
What happened was I was pointing the camera at the sun, or at the clouds, because there was a storm building. I was looking for cloud shots. And he must have walked or rode his bike across where I was, but the elevation on the lens was too high to even see him. And next thing I know, he's up in my face, yelling at me about pointing the camera at him again, telling me, he's going to fuck me up and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, fuck. And I put the camera down by my belt button, just put it down, hold on. I said, look, man, I'm not pointing this fucking camera at you. I'm trying to take pictures of the clouds. And he's trying to hide his face while I'm like sneaking shots of him. And that one shot came out.
So, and you think, did you have a problem with him beforehand, or is it just kind of like a spur of the moment?
No, I'm just, one of the people in the neighborhood that they see often. I don't hang out with anybody. I don't have any hassles with anybody. Sometimes I'll some of the people that I chit chat a little bit with, I'll bring them stuff. There's a Creole two-spirit person out there. I took her shopping one day. I'll do that kind of stuff, but I never had a problem with anybody. The family spotted me out there, consistently buying in the park, and sent one of their I don't know what you call them, one of their messengers, their providers, one of the providers to me, say, hey, look, you don't have to score in the park. I'll come and bring it to you. All you have to do is give me the money. So I didn't trust that, but he turned out to be totally fucking reliable. So reliable that one day when he couldn't score for me, he knew that I needed it for medicine. He knows how fucking crazy I get when I don't have it, because he comes to the door and I'm shaking. And he left me with a bud of some dank that he had one night when he couldn't score. And that's how reliable this guy is. And they ditched me. What it is, I'm not sure what the strain is, but it's a mostly sativa strain, but it's not 100% sativa. It's not. It's a strain. It's a medicinal strain that is very nicely grown, almost completely without seeds, and manicured to where I don't get much lumber either. I think I had 7 grams of lumber and seeds in the quarter pound I just finished. And I get it. He delivers it to the door. Comes to the door with a quarter pound and once a month, and we're good. And I'm paying $40 an ounce for it, which I can afford to smoke as much of it as I want without worrying about it. Which where I can't, with really good bud, I can't afford to do that, and I end up not getting enough cannabinoid in me to do the antipsychotic and mood stabilizing benefit that I need from it. That get up in my face too much, and I'm going to start shaking because my adrenaline is not being metabolized properly. This is why I blow like that. It's like, okay, this is going to end, and if I have to hurt you to do it, you need to get the fuck away from me now. You understand me? You need to get the fuck away from me now. And
so what happened with once you said you got knocked down by this guy? Like, how did it resolve the issue?
It didn't, and I forgot about it until the other night when he got in my face and did it again, but this time he didn't touch me.
When did you upload this picture?
I don't know. Yesterday, maybe.
Like on Facebook? Or I don't know where you're allowed to post anymore. I'm just curious how like Daisy May got it.
Gary C. Fucking hell, Tommy. Take a 90-day break from dudes and come and clear your head. Have you got a vagina? You come sit on my face for 90 days and I won't smoke anything. Yeah, right. I'm on adrenochrome.
Oh yeah, someone wanted me to ask you about that. Adrenochrome. Do you know anything about that?
Very little.
It's the hot new meme people are talking about.
I took a look at it, but I'm not buying into the child trafficking thing. That's the old blood libel against the Jews, man. Same thing they've been accusing the Jews of since the 9th century.
And of all the conspiracies and to adopt, you're not going to look at the Epstein stuff and say that's real. Trump's even implicated in that now.
Epstein stuff I've looked at, and the most plausible explanation to that for me is that he was working for the Mossad, running a honeypot, keeping all the politicians loyal to the Zionist state. That's what he was doing.
Do you think he killed himself?
Huh?
Do you think he killed himself?
I'm not completely convinced that he's dead. I think they might have killed a double.
That's one of the things I've heard too.
And the rumor was that Maxwell was hiding out in Israel, and they killed a double and smuggled him over there too. Somebody claimed, there was the night, like about 6 hours before they found him dead, they had taken him out of the cell for some kind of medical appointment. And gosh, the cameras are busted. I had to wonder, like, how stupid, how plausible deniability. There's no plausibility to, like, the flying the planes into the building story kind of shit. It's just, how are people getting like sucked into this when no, I don't browse anything with the slash anything. Sometimes I'll get, I've heard that one. Some about Epstein funding Gates. I've heard that one. If you want to send some, send me those links. I'd like to see that. Y'all want to, if you haven't heard about David Martin, you want to tune into him. But let's back up a little bit, because you'd asked me about white people.
Yeah.
And the problem isn't, first of all, people do not come in white or black. Okay? Mm-hmm. There are no white or black people. We range from like pink to purple. And just to, the whole idea of all these separate races is really just an arbitrary construct of the imperialist colonialists. People all work the same way inside. The difference between humans, those are adaptive, that's adaptive radiation of local populations to, it's adapting, and it's they're modifying I wasn't prepared to like talk on this, obviously.
Well, don't worry about it. We can go into that like if we do it again.
What it's about is that for instance, Africa. Those are not all Negro people. Okay, there is not one race Negro. There is not one race Red, American Indian. Those are hundreds of nations of people that had their own languages that were all lumped together by the Brits or the Dutch or the Spanish or the Portuguese. Race separation is bullshit. We're all one family. We're all one species. We all work the same way. The differences between us, the color of your skin depends on the angle of the sun, on where you live, and on the intensity and temperature of the wind. That's why the Inuits are dark skinned. They need the melanin to protect them from the cold and the wind. And like the Watusis versus the I just got a lung full of dust. This is such a fucking dusty town. I'm sitting in front of a fan, and it just blew a bunch of dust in my face. Yeah, you guys need to study your coughs.
Jesus, Tony.
That's too strong a lung for COPD, boys. That's a strong lung pushing out congestion from the bronchi. Not from the bronchi, from the trachea, is what that is. That's not COPD. But you go ahead and, like all you Albert Einsteins and you fucking Jonas Salks and Sigmund Freud, that you're all fucking digitally programmed dweebs. You have been dumbed down by learning from a fucking telephone. You're all idiots. And on that note, Josh, you got assholes. Look, there's nothing but idiots in there. You got whatever. What is that asshole's name? Millennial Turkeys.
I have no idea. No.
He's a flaming fucking asshole.
Who is Max Power? You mentioned him, and we kind of got to wrap up. Is who?
Here at Max Power is Eddie Flores. The alias.
You said that you have him for.
Hey, Tom asked a question. I can't afford it.
What was the question?
Why don't you use edibles?
Oh.
If I could afford it, I would. I first of all, it's $200 for a card. Okay, and now let's look at. I'm paying $2 a gram. Well, not even $2 a gram. 28. I'm getting 28 grams for $40. Okay, I cannot afford to smoke as much as I do, or just consume as much. I need a lot of. I'm not smoking to get a buzz. I'm smoking to be able to calm my brain down enough to use it. Big difference. Yeah, sure. Answer that. Tom Madera is telling me that Millennial Turkeys is Frederick Collins and lives in the suburbs of Chicago, when I know for a fact I've gotten called from the asshole in New York City.
So, just curious, what's the Max Power guy? He said you got him for ripping off media, defaming you. What are you taking him to court?
Complex, long story. How this happened 10 years ago. This has been going on.
Was it culminating this year, or what's the revelation with that?
I hope so. I hope I'll be able to get something composed and filed this month. Because if I don't, I really need to concentrate on my other business through February.
Have you filed pro se before?
Yeah, and I failed both times. That's why I got blown out of the water both times. I need to do something this month, or it's going to have to wait until after the first of the year, or after the gem shows again.
No, you're still doing the gym stuff, right? You're selling rocks.
Oh, that's why I've been able to live without the busking money. I've had some good sales with eBay. I turned an opal over that cost me $60 for $250.
It's almost midnight here, so I kind of want to wrap up. Do you have any kind of broad statement, any kind of question for me, or?
Well, it was what I wanted to talk to you about was like cutting a deal with you about giving me control of my forum. And so I don't give a fuck about any idiots in my face. I only see them when I want to. They think I'm leading everything. And it's like I hardly pay any attention to anything these people are doing, to be honest. On that, what I want to talk to you about was just, give me control of the forum with some mod tools so that I can, bounce them and delete their shit and keep my threads intelligent. I mean, you've got some thoughtful people there. You got more thoughtful people there than at AMB. Let's put it that way. And the trolls are nowhere near as difficult to deal with as at AMB because those guys are professionals. That's all military guys. That's cyber war. That's a cyber war unit. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. That's a cyber war unit.
Sneasel always called them a bunch of old guys that just talk to each other.
Sneasel's a dumbass motherfucker. Was that really him? Is that really Sneasel? That video of him begging to get in the inner circle?
I have no idea. I've never seen it.
I'll send it to you. I've had people tell me he's all sorts of shit. Best I can guess from my interactions directly with him is he's a recent MBA from U Michigan, Ann Arbor, that got fired immediately and is living in his mother's basement, trolling full time. Now, who's paying him to do it, I don't know. Or even if he's getting paid at all, because he's living in mommy's basement and doesn't need to be getting paid, and he's such a fucking sociopath. All the Schadenfreude rushes he gets from fucking people around is enough for him because he doesn't have to pay anything to live on because he's living off of money.
Well, if you had control over your board, I mean, would you delete threads? Would you ban people? What's the?
I'd do to them what they did to me. If I don't like your shit, you're blocked.
Well, you can block people on the forum without being a moderator.
I can't do anything but put them on ignore.
Yeah.
I want to be able to clean out shit posts. I don't want to see the shit posts. If you can't, I don't need it. I don't want it. Fuck you and your shit post. Go shit post somewhere where they like that stuff. My friends and family are nice people who are having cordial conversations about interesting topics. And we don't need to shit posting. We don't allow it on our profiles. Somebody starts shit posting, somebody's friend starts shit posting on another friend. Somebody just lost a friend. Now, which one ended up losing a friend depends on how the person who had the mutual friends attack each other responds.
How about this? What if I made a sub-board to your board and I gave you total power over that?
I want control over the forum that says Tommy Tooter.
Well, if the concern was just clearing out posts that were obstructing conversation, wouldn't...
Well, I'll tell you what. If there's an admin team for so that we have to come to consensus about decisions like that, I'm good with that. But I want it over the whole forum. I have a certain ambiance, atmosphere that I've been trying to create, I've been trying to create a nice, intelligent, bi-basis space where people can feel safe and talk about whatever they want without people getting personal and stupid and persistent. These people are running around everywhere, hiring other people to teach other people that that's a pedophile dog fucker. Don't you ever, ever, ever do anything good for that person. Try and get that person killed because that person is a pedophile dog fucker. I don't need that. It's not doing anything for you except attracting idiots into your site.
Well, I can't commit to that, but I think if you wanted to try something like that, it would be a good test to open a new sub forum and just see how that goes, how that plays out. That would be my suggestion.
What I've been doing is just, and I have something in composition that's really good on the evolution of behavior.
Like, would you just want like like a blog? I can open you a blog if that's what you would like.
No, I want a nice forum where people post all different kinds of stuff, but not exactly the way you guys have done it. That's just fucking sloppy and shitty. It'd be like, that there'd be the main forum, then sub forum, topical sub forums. Is what I want. Well, what I want to do.
Well, you just want your own forum then.
Huh?
You just want your own forum.
Well, I was hoping to take over the one you'd already built and then just clean it up.
Well, I think the people there would probably not want that.
Well, who's running it?
Who's running the Tommy Tooter subforum? Nobody right now. After Yannick Sneasel deleted his account, he was the guy that ran the board. Right now, it's just like no oversight.
No oversight. Well, I'll tell you what. Give me, let's make a team to run that forum. And we'll discuss it together on what to do with it. Because there's a lot of stuff in there that is just absolutely untrue. Like, the story of me hounding this YouTuber to death. That's nonsense. That's not what happened. I never hounded her. I asked her to do something for me. She did a shitty job of it. I got on her, and she got on me. And that was the end of it. And 6 or 8 months later, she's dead. And these fucking assholes are blaming it on me.
I vaguely remember this. I think Yanning definitely said that you were a lot more involved than just that. Oh, that's his story.
Oh, fuck no. She was just some Looney Tune in California that made nice PowerPoint presentations. And I asked her to do something specific for Teach Your Children. Crosby, Stills, and Nash song. And I had specific images that I wanted in there, and she didn't come anywhere near what I asked her to do. And when I asked her to do it again, she like got all weird, and it's like I got upset, and then she went ballistic. So after she went ballistic, fuck up, I got on her case in a stream, and then she got in my case in a stream, and that was pretty much the end of it. And it wasn't until 6 or 8 months later that I found out she was dead. But we never had any kind of serious relationship at all. She's just Elizabeth, one of the people that I commented on her page, and she commented on mine. There was nothing more than that. And I admired her work with PowerPoint and asked her to do something for me, and she fucked it up. And the relationship went in the toilet. I'm not responsible for driving her to suicide. She's a fucking fruitcake. She was totally fucking nuts. And it's nuts to blame me for all this stuff. Let's go back to page 1. I mean, the whole heading, everything, it's all bullshit.
Okay, well, what I can do, I can definitely promise you a subboard if you'd want that. Otherwise, I'll have to talk to people. We have the threads on the forum and the private message area, and we can talk about it further there.
Okay, well, this is what I'm proposing is just to leave the forum as it is, and I don't even have to be the lead admin. You can put somebody with more experience there, and that we, work together to moderate the forum. I'm good with that. Just leave it as it is and give me people to work with.
Okay. Well, we can talk on the board. I'll open like a poll. We'll see what happens with that. See what people.
Yeah, I mean, like that's what I'm proposing is that me and reliable people take over my board and turn it into a nice, friendly forum with no fucking shit posting. Keep it somewhere else. We'll ask them nicely to stay away from it and go do it somewhere else. And if they refuse, we'll just ban them for the forum.
All right. Is there anything else?
50-pound bag of $5 bills, a lawyer, and someone with a masculine man with a vagina. Healthy masculine man with a vagina. That's my only needs. I want people to stop being so stupid toward me and persistent, aggressive, intrusively stupid, like that fucking extra douche sauce and Sneasel in there.
Why do you think that you specifically are the target of this?
They would like to say that they're strictly doing it because I'm so easy to piss off, and that's funny. That's not the way it is. Israel Letman, Leppman, is one of the Kiwi farm or AMBs. You guys get me confused because the idiots are, they're real people. Tom Madeira is a real person. He's the ringleader of another message board. And he's an Air Force Academy alumnus and has been flying an intelligence desk for many years. And I guess he must have been a fuck up because I don't think he ever got past captain. Yeah, it's kind of really pretty pathetic for an academy graduate. He must have been real jerk off. I know he didn't make colonel, but I don't even know if he ever made major either. I'm trying to think of. I don't remember seeing oak leaves on his uniform. I have to go look at some of the pictures, see what the insignia is on it. A picture I used at AMB the other day is an old one when he was in the Middle East. It's him in Desert Cami and a captain. He's still pretty young. These are real people. Tom Butler works in the Department of Defense. Michael Osborne is a truck driver, nomad. He's a Air Force veteran. That dead out key logger is a guy named Patrick Kelly, who's a Marine veteran, Marine archivist. He's been the military trained him in internet fuckery. All of them were trained in, Tom Madeira, the military trained him in internet fuckery. I've got hold of the cyber warfare training manual. If anybody likes to see that, I'll be glad to send them a copy. But it's a fucking war zone, man. A lot of rumors flying around about the Mossad. You're a Mossad asset.
Me?
Yeah.
What involvement do I have with the Mossad? If I have involvement with the Mossad, I really wish they would pay me because I would like some more money.
That's what the claim is that they're financing this.
Well, if they want to write me a check, they know where to send it. And I would, if the Mossad is listening right now, I would greatly appreciate the shekels because,
right.
Just help me out a little bit. It's expensive. It's expensive being me.
All these people are accusing me of working for Soros organizations. Like, hey man, Soros is paying people to do this shit. I want mine. Where's mine? It's like,
yeah, no shit.
It's like, where's mine? Yeah, sure. I'm one of Soros's condoms, man. And that's all bullshit too. I don't think that's what Soros is about. This is what they want to say he's about. Because he's dangerous to the Rothschild Morgan crowd. So that's the thing. It's money. Money rules this world. Remember the song from Cabaret? Money makes the world go round, the world go round, the world go round. You remember that song?
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's what's up. And it's always been this way. Robert Anton Wilson talked about it in one of his books about secret societies and overlapping, competing conspiracies. There'd be 3-4 different conspiracies competing against each other. For who gets to win the prize. And it's impossible to break through the misinformation, the mountains of misinformation, because it's being generated by 3-4 different organizations that are trying to take the other one over. And it's just too nuts. It's just been too nuts. It's a kaleidoscopic stupidity. So I think we ought to leave it, and we'll pick it up at another time.
Yeah,
You know,
it's almost midnight here, so I gotta cut it around here. But I just know that if anything, Sneasel is very glad to have you back because he was very sad when you were friends with Ross and you were getting swatted, and he's very happy that you're back.
yeah, well, you know, if he wants to stay out of jail, he's gonna fucking turn over like who swatted me.
Well, he thinks it's Ross.
Thinking isn't, you know, he doesn't know how to think.
Well, he
He's a
believes
binary.
he
He's a
believes
binary.
the.
He's a binary person. Yes or no, true or false. He doesn't know about yes, no, or maybe.
Well, he
And he
says it's
doesn't know
Ross.
about, huh?
He says it's Ross.
Send it to me.
It's in the PM chain. It's Daisy May saying that I think it's Ross.
I'm not in there. I'm not even looking at it right now. Let me
All
get
right,
back.
we'll read through it in a bit because he points to the fact that once you got away from Ross, the swatting stopped because they were the ones doing it.
Was that the clowns that were trying to play me as if they were Antifa?
I don't know the story with that. That's about the time that I stopped following what was happening. But I'm sure if you asked on their board if those are the people,
I tell you what, you can sure see the difference between like how people feel about me. That's crazy. This is crazy. You know, I kind of known it for a long time. That I'm the kind of person you meet me, and you either love me or hate me intensely, quickly. I'm just that way. I've always been that way.
all right. Well, I'll talk to you again some other time.
Okay, can I still access this once we quit?
This stream that we're on right now?
Yeah,
Yeah, it'll stay up.
the chat stream will stay up. Okay, then I'm out of here. This has been
All
a
right.
good talk, and I appreciate it because you know we've never talked this long before respectfully to each other, and I appreciate that.
Oh, thank you for the kind words. It's been fun.
All right, happy day, man. Bye bye.
Yep, take it easy. All right, that concludes the talk. I've ended the Zoom. I hope you guys are having a very nice Saturday, and I'll see you again probably next Friday, just because stuff is happening. And I didn't realize until after I finished my stream that I completely forgot to talk about low tax at all. So I want to see if I can put something together for that, because the whole Something Awful implosion is like a cultural milestone. Just seeing how something that really is so strongly defined early internet is now being so thoroughly crushed by the modern climate of the internet is personally fascinating to me from my perspective. So yeah, take it easy, guys, and I'll see you later.